Here's the door. I still got to do a little sanding on the door. Sorry, try not to make you dizzy. Looks pretty good. It's sticking a little bit on the bottom, but it is pretty decently tight, which is what I wanted. So we've got to sand just a little bit on that bottom corner, and a little bit more of a gap on that side than I wanted, but looks pretty good on that side. And it is, it's pretty flush. I think I'm going to do a cross support from corner to corner right there. But all in all, the coop is going pretty good. I'll let you get a picture of it. No blueprints. I just designed it in my head and did it as I went. So, but I'm not a carpenter, and I know why carpentry work is so freaking expensive now. So we'll go in here. I am 6'1", and I can walk through the center of it pretty easily, and so it's pretty nice. I can stand up definitely in the center. So everything's going pretty good. We've got our corner braces on all 4 corners, and the reason why we chose that blue is because that is actually the color of our front door. So we thought it would kind of match the property in general. And this color, which is by the way called Texas leather, I believe. And when we bought the house, they left like 2 5-gallon buckets, almost 2 5-gallon buckets, so we had plenty of it. And it just made sense to make it match the house. That way it doesn't look all, trashy. Flip it around so you can see the front. We're kind of on a hill right here. But this, before I forget, this thing is way bigger in person than when you're buying it on the internet. I didn't realize it was so big, but that's a good thing. That means it holds a lot of water without me having to refill it every single day. So apparently what you do is you put you some apple cider vinegar in there. Not too much, just enough. It tells you how much to put in there. Keeps bacteria down and algae growth down. And plus the sun can't penetrate it either. So that really helps with algae growth. Now, a lot of people ask me, we have 4 chickens. We're just starting out really small right now. And as you notice, the waterer and the feeder only have 3 ports, or 3 spots for chickens. But the idea is that if you're constantly leaving water and food in here, then the chickens aren't going to be fighting over food and water. So there'll be plenty enough space and room for everyone to get their fill of water and food. And so this is, as you can see right there, it's called the Over Easy Chicken Waterer. Same thing over there, same brand. We'll walk over there in a minute and I'll get a closer up of it. But that's called the Over Easy Chicken Feeder. And so on Amazon, I think both of these were 80 and 89. I think this was 80 and this one's 89. But I found at Tractor Supply right now, which by the way, it's September 15th, 2022. They're both on sale for, I think 65 or 70. I know that's a lot for a feeder and a waterer, but I think it's worth it in the long run. So this holds 12 gallons of water, which in my opinion, especially for 4 chickens, that's a lot. And the feeder says it holds 50 pounds, although I am not going to be putting 50 pounds in there because that's just an extra 50 pounds of weight that I have to move around when I'm moving the tractor. So the idea is we move it around the yard. You know, one space, move it, move it, move it, move it. Keep moving it around the yard, obviously where there's nothing at. And by the time we get back to where we started, it should be a week and a half to 2 weeks, and it keeps the grass from dying and fertilizes the grass at the same time. Back to the chicken coop. So here we have the platform or the floor for the hen house. So on the hen house, we're going to have corrugated roofing across to keep the rain off the hen house. So it's going to go from the peak down to right there where those mitered pieces of wood are. And then the rest of it is going to have hardware mesh all the way around the sides and the back, and obviously the other side. And that's so they can kind of escape from the heat during the summertime and have a nice chill, cool, dark spot to hang out without roasting to death, but still be outside the hen house. And so we're doing hardware mesh all the way across the hen house. And we're actually going to do PVC coated hardware mesh because apparently it lasts a lot longer and it doesn't rust, and it just looks really, really clean and professional. We're going to go with black hardware mesh. I think it's on Amazon for, I'm going to go ahead and get 100 feet of it, 4 foot by 100 feet. I think it's 170, 180 bucks. And so there's obviously going to be no floor in it because we're moving it around every day. We're letting them do their foraging, their pecking. We're obviously going to let them do their pecking and, you know, eating off of the grass as we move it around. That's plenty enough room for 4 chickens. So what we plan on doing is in the mornings, I'm going to come out here and let them out of the hen house, and they're going to come down and do the little thing all day inside the chicken tractor. Then when I get home, I'll let them out and let them run around the backyard and do their things after I let my dog out, because I'm pretty sure he wants to eat them right now. And so let's go over here and look at the food. All right, so here's the food container. It's pretty sweet, in my opinion. I like it. Just gravity fed. Although I will say it does look like you have to put, I would say, at least 10 pounds of food in there for it to come up to a level in the ports right here. And I like it because it keeps the food dry, and it does have a lid that goes on it, a nice red lid. It doesn't fit super tight, but it fits tight enough to keep the water out. It has a lip that comes down, you know, yay far. And speaking of lids, the water actually has a little notch in the lid for a power cord to go up through it, so you can put a de-icer down in there in the wintertime if you ever think you need it. I live here in Georgia, northern part of Georgia, so it doesn't get freezing cold, but there is sometimes when it gets down below freezing. So we'll see how it goes. This will be the first winter with them. They're only a few weeks old, so it's going to be a little while, but I'm just trying to get a jump start on the chicken coop in general. And so what I plan on doing with the feeder and the water is running some boards, 2 boards, one from here to there. Most likely a 2x4 at an angle, something like this, and then running another one at an angle about 8 inches apart. So this sits right down inside there, but doesn't rock this way and doesn't rock this way, but keeps it up off the ground. That way it doesn't fall this way and this way, but keeps it up off the ground. That way when I'm moving it, it's not dragging on the ground. And so what I plan on doing is, obviously the hardware mesh is gonna go all the way to the peak, down to the ground. And so right here, once I get everything buttoned up, I'm gonna figure out exactly where this needs to sit. Probably somewhere in that neighborhood right there. There's going to be a door that goes all the way across right here. I would say probably 12 to 14 inches wide, that I can just open up and set it down. You know, it'll be flat like this, and open it up and let it rest right here on the bottom part, so I don't actually have to go into the coop to fill the food and the water up when it does need refilling. And also I can take the empty container out through this door as well to clean them. Just something to come up with that I thought made sense. And so I saw another chicken house, or chicken tractor, where they did this flush mount brace across it, and I thought it looked pretty good, so I kind of copied that. You know, it's not perfect, there are some gaps, and like I said, I'm not a carpenter, but I think for first time chicken tractor, I think it is pretty good. And I've got some other special ideas that you're just gonna have to wait until I get completely done with it and just give me your feedback on it, but I think they're gonna be wonderful. And the functionality of this contraption, I am really stoked about this door. We'll put a little, you know, well, we won't have to put a stop right there because there's gonna be a gate latch right there. And I got these really nice kitchen cabinet handles that are gonna go on here. And so I think that's really gonna kind of add to the design. So as you can see, the door is gonna be blue, like the trim pieces down there. And kind of goes hand in hand with the color scheme of the house. There's the house right there. I'll show you the front door another day. And so I went with stainless steel hinges, so you never have to worry about that nasty rusting effect that's going to happen with any kind of hinges. Zinc coated, I don't care if you paint them 10 times, the paint's gonna wear off, and once the rust gets up under the paint, all the paint is going to come off. But stainless steel, if it's real stainless steel, it's not gonna rust. So I just got 2 on there. I think that's really all it needs. The door is not heavy at all. It works It works good. It is kind of bugging me about that sticking right there. Just sticking on the bottom. But all in all, it works good. I like it because it's flush. I'll put a picture up what it looked like before and you can see how crappy it looked. And maybe you'll understand why I changed it. So let's go to the back of the hen house. So in the back of the hen house, we're gonna have a door that runs right along. The hinges are going to be right along here, probably 1, 2, 3, and I would say the door is going to come up somewhere in this neighborhood, and that's going to be the back of the nesting boxes. And so you open it up and let it just hang against the bottom down there, and the rest of it will just be painted plywood. And speaking of paint, we pretty much painted just about everything before we put it up, just so it would have an excellent coat of paint on it, because that's going to keep it from rotting. The frame actually has 2 coats of paint on it, and I think pretty much everything has 2 coats of paint on it now, minus the door, of course. We've got some blue touching up. And I will note, when you are painting, the most important part of painting, or one of the most important parts of painting, is the end. Now obviously you're going to paint this end because it is exposed, but that end right there, up under there, is painted with 2 coats, and so is that end over there, and so on and so on. And the 2 buckles that run into each other right there are painted with 2 coats, because if you leave the ends open, moisture will get in there, and we all know moisture and wood don't go together very good for very long. So all in all, I think it's pretty good. I got some finishing up to do. I need to trim these off, make them flush, but not too bad for an A-frame chicken tractor. And one of the ideas I have for this has to do with the wheels on it. So I'm not going to do wheels on this one, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're just going to have to wait and see, but I think you're really going to like it. If you've enjoyed this video and you have any questions, leave them in the comments. But if you enjoyed this video and you like this channel, Eclectic Life, subscribe and like this video. Thank you very much. Have a good night. All right, welcome to my channel, The Eclectic Life. A little update on the chicken tractor. Let me back up a little bit. It's coming along pretty good. I'm waiting to get some more material in, and honestly some more money. But something I wanted to give you guys an update on is something of my own design. I've got these food holder and water holders here. Well, you've got the container over there, that's for the water, and the food will go on this side, or vice versa. So the idea is, so I designed it like this, so it will move with the tractor, number one, because all these boards on the center, those boards and these boards running this way, they don't go all the way to the ground, so they're not going to drag when you're moving it. And let's walk around. So as you can see, it's really close to the edge right here. So the idea is we're going to have a door that opens up this way, so you can just refill the water and the food without having to go inside. So the door is going to span obviously all the way across this area right here, and I'd say it's going to be about maybe 12 inches wide. So yeah, I just wanted to give an update on that. Got to put another coat of paint on the door, and got to do some more reinforcing on these A-frames. I guess I'm gonna do a ridge board. In hindsight, I should have probably done one in between the A-frames, but a little too late for that now. So we'll probably just run one on the outside on both sides. That way, once I put the ridge cap on, it'll kind of set it off of um, the panels that are going to go right here, so it'll allow for some venting. And then this is the bottom side of the hen house. So there's going to be plywood laid down on this frame, and then on top of the plywood is going to be high density polyethylene, which is basically just a form of plastic, high impact resistance, and just high impact, I guess you'd say plastic. Let's just call it plastic, okay? But it's called HDPE. Very similar to polycarbonate, but not the exact same. Something about the molecules, the way they're chained together is a little bit different. So, but they're basically the same thing. So we're going to put that on the bottom. That way it allows for easy clean out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's going along good. So once I get the plywood up and the hardware mesh in, we'll get back to you. Thank you. If you like this video, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We got more interesting content to come. Thank you.